Hold up, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bet.
Welcome back, y'all. This is a Double M podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Dinero, here with my co-host,
Puma El Gato.
What do we got going on tonight, my man?
We're talking about UFC Fight Night, Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Let's talk about it.
So, as my man here said, we're going to be talking about Usman and Buckley. We've already done a kind of a previous video giving you our initial thoughts. So here we are. It's fight week. Let's go ahead and discuss what's going to happen. Listen, man, I have been a fan of Usman for quite some time now. His run as champion is obviously clearly legendary. He was doing a phenomenal job. Great champion. Different number of reasons, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he came to a point where he was lapping, fighting dudes twice, Colby twice, Masvidal twice. He had beat a number of other individuals as well. Some of my favorite fighters like Gilbert Burns, so on and so forth. Great run. We can all agree, great run for Usman. Buckley's been looking phenomenal as of late. He's done a number of great things, beating fighters and looked dominant while doing so. So, how does this fight play out? If I'm being honest with you, I got Buckley in this one. Usman has all the experience. Usman has a much better fight record than does a Buckley. But there's a saying in boxing that applies here too. Nobody beats Father Time. Father Time beats everybody. And unfortunately for Usman, there's a number of obviously health issues that I think are going to play against him. Obviously, his last fight with Leon Edwards, he got devastatingly knocked out. And then, right after that, he got a unanimous decision loss to Leon Edwards. So he's on a little bit of a losing streak, whereas Buckley's on a little bit of a winning streak. I think the way that Buckley has been dominating and winning his fights, I think because of those things, I think it's only inevitable that Buckley's going to win. We all know, obviously, Usman has some knee problems. We all know Usman is getting up there in age. I think, unfortunately, the prime Usman that we saw those days where he was making a run around the division, I think those days are far gone, unfortunately. I think because of the way that Buckley's been winning, he's been dominant. He's got that one amazing knockout where he basically did I don't even know what to really call it, where he knocked that guy a bit that was holding his leg, and he basically knocked him out clean. There's just so many good things that Buckley has been doing. He's been looking phenomenal of late. I think because of all those things, I think it's pretty much set in stone that Buckley's going to win. Don't get me wrong. I still personally, as fighters, personally have Usman as my favorite. But listen, the whole point of this podcast is to be unbiased with our opinions, and I think Buckley, he's the young buck. He's got a lot of good things working for him. He's been looking phenomenal. And again, all the age factors and such, the knee problems and all that stuff that I've been saying about Usman are going to play here. Now, the one good thing about it is that even when he fought Hamza Chimaev, Usman looked good. Yes, he lost the fight, but I thought Usman looked good. Phenomenal wrestler. He's got that going for him. So maybe he can get something going there. To be honest with you, that's probably his best shot. I think if he tries to stay on the feet with Buckley, I don't think it's going to work out well. So I think he should focus on a heavy wrestling based fight. And if he does that, I think he could beat Buckley. Now, that being said, Buckley's a strong dude. Hopefully, if with enough good technique, which Usman does have, he can wrestle him and take that dub. But if I'm going to tell you who to bet on, I will tell you to bet your money on Buckley. I think, unfortunately for Usman, again, that prime Usman is no longer here. All due respect to him because I think the world of him, but it is what it is. I personally have Buckley winning, and honestly, he could either be decision or knockout. I think Usman has enough wherewithal to not get knocked out, but listen, I honestly didn't think Leon Edwards was going to knock Usman out, and we saw what happened. So I think Usman has enough in the gas tank to make it a difficult fight for Buckley, but I do think Buckley's going to pull it out in the end, and I'm going to go by decision. What do you think about that, my man?
I definitely agree with you that Kamaru Usman is going to have to fight a much more pragmatic approach this time around. Ain't no aura farming when you are 0-3 in your last fights. Joaquin Buckley, in the meanwhile, has been on a tear. I want to say it's a 7-fight streak. 5 of his most recent fights majority of them have been some variant of a knockout or a TKO. It was a knockout against Stephen Thompson, a TKO against Colby Covington, and I want to say a TKO against Vincent Luque, and then the rest of them were unanimous decisions. So to say that Joaquin Buckley has been on a tear, and to call this man Tyler the Destroyer, not just because he looks like the rapper, obviously Tyler the Creator, but because this man has actually been destroying his division. It's fair to call him that nickname for a reason. So I do think if Kamaru Usman wants to stand a chance, he's gonna have to rely a lot more on his wrestling, and he's gonna have to make the judges make him look good by comparison. He's gonna have to basically make Joaquin Buckley kind of look a little bit like a punk, but not try and aura farm too much. Because again, your job at the end of the day as a fighter is to win. And when you have this case against you of being 0-3 in your last fights, Usman can make that joke as much as he wants. But I think he understands the reality as the situation at hand. Somebody as dominant as a champion that Usman has been, now being relegated to fight night, dog, your career is on the ropes. You need to make a change now, and against Joaquin Buckley, it needs to be as drastic as it can be. So a pragmatic approach is absolutely necessary. If I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna call it as I see it personally, Joaquin Buckley knockout in the third.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, I mean, it can definitely be a knockout. Obviously, Buckley has that power. Yeah, man, I completely agree with you. If Usman wants to win, he needs to go in there and he needs to make it boring. I know, generally speaking, I'm super against that type of thing, but he needs to make it boring. He needs to wrestle him to the ground and not let him move an inch, stay on the ground the entire fight. That's the only way that I really see Usman winning. Again, 0-3, like you said, he needs to get a dub on the board. Otherwise, people are going to start asking that question that we hate to ask. But listen, it is what it is. Again, all due respect to Usman. Usman has been a phenomenal fighter, one of my favorite fighters. Loved his run in his division. But we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a miracle. Hopefully, Usman can pull something out. I'm being realistic. I think Buckley's going to take it. And again, it definitely can be by knockout. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was by knockout. I'm personally going to go with the decision just because if Usman does wrestle him to the ground, I think that's what it's going to come down to. But we'll see what happens. You know, make sure you guys watch this fight this upcoming Saturday. It's going to be a great fight. Usman and Buckley, both great fighters, great guys. So we'll see what happens, man. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one.